In this video, I will introduce the two bonus files that I provide into the training. So yeah, I wanted to share these two files with you. So we will go into open and into the source files. You will have the bonus files introducing here, and inside this you have a droid and a mecha. So first of all, let's go into the mecha here. I will just open it and show you the model and globally how it works and how I did, and explain you how I did create that. So let's talk about the modeling process and how I did think about that. The first thing usually I do is I create the structure inside, the more or less the joints and things like that, and then after I add more shapes outside to create a kind of armor like this. So I really wanted to go a little further with the techniques that we did share, we did explore together in this training. I really wanted to see if it was possible to go into more complex shapes, more complex models. And yeah, actually it does. It works really well, no problem with that. It's exactly the same techniques that we did use. It's just more pieces and more time because it's more complex models. But if you take separately all models like this shape or that shape or this shape here, it's not crazy shape, nothing is impossible to do. And with the techniques that we did share together, like for example, let's take this shape here. For example here, it's really a cube that I did scale down into one axis, then make a cut to have the global shape of it, add some here, some bevel here and there to have a nice shape around, and then just add here the circle to make the cylinder to make this kind of shape here, and then after just make another cut over here and there, scale it down, exactly the same kind of process that we did for the rifle here. So just if you want to go further and experiment more complex shapes and more complex objects, don't hesitate to have a look on these ones. It can give you some inspiration, or even you can use it for your own project if you need. I don't put any restrictions on that. I share it with you, and after you do whatever you want with that. If you want to use this into a great animation or whatever, I don't know, or a video game, just don't hesitate to tell me. Just I will be happy to see it. I will not put any restriction on that, but yeah, I will be happy to see that. Anyway, so here, yeah, you can see it's more or less the same kind of basic shapes that we add to have more complex shapes after. Like for example here in the beginning for the cockpit, I just use a basic shape that I did cut with the carver, and then after I did make several cuts inside this to have all this shape ready like that. So how the file is organized inside this, you have here 3 layers. You have the layer for the armature, you have the layer for the structure inside, so all the structure parts, and then after the armor, and by combining everyone you will have everything. Basically the armature, it will work like this. So just enable it, select it, go into pose mode over there. Maybe you can go into the armature section here and manage a little the viewport display, choose maybe stick like this. It will take less thing into the interface and you can see more a little your model. What you can do too, it's enable the rotation over there and go into the normal view. So why I choose the normal view here, or the local view, the local orientation. So why I choose the local orientation, because like this I can really make the rotation with the inside here rotation of the bone itself. If I choose the global one by default, I will have my global orientation, and I cannot make the rotation that I want. You can see that it will goes out like this. It's really not what I want. So what I will do with that, I choose here the local view, and like that I will have the possibility to make the right orientation of the rotation, just like this. And the same for this one, the same for that one as well. So you can play a little with that. This one, for example, is for managing the entire arm with the folder. This one is to manage the arm without the shoulder, like for example like this. And you can just, here, this bone is for here, okay, if you want to move it a little, just like that, or this bone is for here as well. And yeah, everything is ready. You can play with it, make some little animations maybe, or make just a nice pose into your model if you want, and you will have a lot of possibilities here just to play with that. So just by selecting this and that, I can just move the foot a little. If we can call this a foot, I don't know how we call that for a mecha like that, but yeah, you can see that just by playing a little with the armature, you can play and make nice poses or animations, so don't hesitate to use that. In case you really want to know how to rig this kind of model of complex shapes, because it's a lot of objects that is rigged in one armature, in case you really want to know a little more about this, don't hesitate to go into my full training. You will see how to model a little robot and how to rig it. And actually it's exactly the same kind of process. You just put an object and you parent it to a bone. So it's simple, it's efficient. Yeah, don't hesitate to have a look into my my full training for that. So what I will do, I will select everything, and with Alt-R put back the original rotation of all the bones, and I will let you play with that if you want. Yeah, just something else. I come back into object mode here. Something else, all the objects are textured as well. So if you go into here shading mode, just over here, wait a little, you will have nice textures that will appear. Okay, so everything is here. It's exactly the same kind of process we did. Just create some nice materials, add some maybe some little parts into it. Maybe this one would be perfect with screws. I didn't put screws on that one, and yeah, maybe this one with screws. Ooh, it should be even better. But yeah, it's exactly the same kind of process that you can see. Just two different basic materials that we add some nice textures into it, some nice here scratches and things like that that make really think that it's all down the, yeah, made a lot of battles. So here it's for the mecha, and you can just play with that. It's free, it's enabled, it's for you. Here you can go to open the other file as well, the droid here. So the droid is even a little more complex. What I did for not for the shapes, let's say, but yeah, maybe a lot more objects, because just the fingers, it's a pain to make this. It's a lot of time. But here, for example, we have a kind of human structure with the armature. So I did try to choose a human structure that will help me to make the proportions. Yeah, that makes think that it's a humanoid droid. Okay, then I did build a structure. Maybe I will remove the pose of the armature, just like this. You see a little more without all of that. So for the armature, I will go there, and I will do the rest position here. So now what we can see the structure of the droid here over there. So it's really, I did build internal part, kind of skeleton that will make the possibility after to add more shapes. So here it's really simple shapes that I made some insets with it and some little extruding. It's really simple shapes. Actually, in this process, in this processes, you just have to think about build really simple shapes in the beginning. Like for example, here you have a cube, you make a cut, and after you will add the insets and a little extrude over here and there. But in the beginning, it's really simple shapes. And after you make it a little more complex and you refine it until it looks good, and yeah, that you can think, okay, I will start to make a render with that. And it was here more simple modeling. I didn't use a lot of carver for this one, at least for this part. For the head, I did use carver a little more. But after for the armor, I did put a lot of carver in that one. In that one, I did use a lot more what we did see together for the rifle. Okay, and so the same with the two together, you will have the entire droid just like that. Okay, so it's a lot of objects there. You see that there are 248 objects. So even if you have some mirrored parts, I mean, yeah, it's a lot to manage, to handle. It takes some time, and that's what I didn't want to show you the entire process of making this, because it will be a lot repetitive, a lot boring in the end, I guess. I just wanted to show you the concept, and after the concept, and yeah, the full process of a simple object, and after you do what you want. If you want to involve yourself, you can experiment to make more complex objects. So here it's another example. I will put back the armature as pose position. Then when I did the nice pose into my object, I came here and give it a nice cloth simulation. If you want to know more about that, don't hesitate to go into my full training again. There are more informations about cloth simulations. And just to create that, and again, this model is fully textured. I did texture that in Substance Painter as well, so if you go there, you will have the full materials that will come. Here I have maybe 4 texture sets in total, so yeah, it's a lot, but it gives a really nice result over there, and especially in cycles it looks even better. I don't know if I'm in cycles here, no, but yeah, anyway, if you put an HDR and go into cycles, it will be really nice with with all the shadows that can generate this render engine. So now yeah, I wanted to show you. After that, yeah, I made a nice render and I did integrate that into kind of desert picture. I will show you that now. So here we have the background that I did choose to integrate the model, and here you have the model integrated in it, and yeah, it works pretty well with the colors and everything. I think it works good. There will be a little article on that, a post on that into Blender Nation that will go maybe next week, or I don't know, something like that, where I explain a little the process of creation of that. If you want to have a look at it, don't hesitate. So yeah, you can play with these models as well. Again, you have the armature. If you want to play with it, you just go there with Control Tab, and you can just make and rotate everything as you want if you choose the right one here with the logo. Okay, so again, maybe without this it will help a little to have something that works quick. Okay, so it will be exactly same kind of process. Everything is rigged and ready to use for pose or animation or whatever. It could be good to make a render of that with the rifle that we did create together with the rifle, with the texture, with the nice color adapted to that one. And yeah, it should work pretty well. So maybe we can play with that. If you want to play with that and send me a picture, I will be always happy to receive it. Anyway, that's it for this training. So for my next trainings, I will go into rebuild the trainings I did before about dinosaur creation and about nature environment creation. So there's two trainings were in 2.79, so I will try to update them as soon as possible for 2.81 or 2.82, depending on how much time I will make this. And that's it for this training. I hope you did enjoy it. Thank you to follow it until there, and happy blending.